Kia ora, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This we get everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock. With news, the expected glow following the Chinese stimulus signals is surprising in its absence. Markets have turned quite sceptical and the Chinese bond yields have sunk sharply. But first up today, we can report that the overnight dairy pulse auction brought slightly lower prices for skim milk powder and whole milk powder. But the fall in New Zealand dollars maintained the results in New Zealand dollars. Also overnight, the Red Book Index of US retail activity rose only 4.2% from the same week a year ago, a much lesser rise than the 7.2% gain the previous week. In fact, it was the least gain since March. A bit of a levelling off, it seems. But jumping a lot is the latest survey of small business sentiment in the US. In Japan, machine tool orders rose 3% in November from the same month a year ago, slowing from the 9.3% growth in October. Local orders were up 5%. The larger export order set was only up 2.2% as orders from China dragged. And China's export growth underwhelmed in November. It rose 12.7% in October, and an 8.5% rise was expected for November. Some thought 10%, due to the front loading of US demand ahead of the 2025 tariffs. But in fact, the gain was only 6.7% from a year ago. Imports actually fell, a signal about their internal economic activity. Interestingly, China's stimulus announcements have barely registered in international markets yet. Markets do expect them to cut rates and raise spending, but the feeling seems to be that this will just help keep them little changed. So far, it has been a very underwhelming event. And we should perhaps note that coffee prices have surged to their highest level since 1972, driven by low production affected by drought in some parts, excessive rainfall in others. It is similar with chocolate or cocoa prices, heading back to their unusual March peaks. The US Treasury 10-year yield is now just on 4.24% and up 5 basis points from this time yesterday, but the Chinese 10-year bond rate is at 1.88% and down a very sharp 8 basis points to a new record low. And the price of gold will start today at $2,693 an ounce and up $24 from yesterday. And oil prices are up 50 US cents to just over $69 a barrel in the US, but the international Brent price is unchanged at $72.50 a barrel. And the Kiwi dollar starts today at just under 58 US cents and down 80 basis points from this time yesterday. Against the Aussie, we're unchanged though at 91 Australian cents, but against the euro, we're down 40 basis points at 55.2 euro cents. That all means our trade weight index starts today at just under 67.9 to be down 50 basis points from yesterday. You can get more news affecting the economy in New Zealand from interest.co.nz. Kia ora, I'm David Chaston, and we'll do this again tomorrow.